Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Martians and aliens. We're not speciesists on this channel. Everybody's welcome. My name's Alan, and welcome to Mars, the second Genesis. Okay, today we're going to be looking at the next part from Sol 241, and this was captured by the Perseverance rover, and it was captured by the pair of mass cams. So let's zoom in, and we'll just have a wee sniff about, see what we can see. We'll start here. Now, as you can see, this here is definitely not rocks. We can see that's the remains of structures or something technological, or maybe hieroglyphs or something. And just to remind you guys, you'll be able to download this image from our Google Drive, and a link will be in the description. There seems to be a structure there. This bit at the back, we see a sort of semicircle. Now look at that sand dune, or lack thereof. Does that look like a sand dune to you? That looks like a roof. And look at this in the background. This is certainly not a piece of landscape. This is some sort of structure. Maybe a structural beam. And we can see here the curvature of this. Certainly not a rock. It looks like another part of a roof. This is probably the remains of a structure. That looks like a structure at the back. Odd looking structure. And this as well, this looks like an open end of a structure. If you look in the sand, you can see the shapes. So if I zoom out and look at what's shown in the sand, you can see all this. It's not single bits of debris, it's an actual structure, and it's all joined below the sand. You can clearly see that's not natural sand, that's just something, a texture that's been mapped to what was there, and you can still see the outline of it. And this here, I'll just zoom in a wee bit more. You can definitely see that's something technical. That looks quite interesting. That's definitely not a rock. We've got this heart-shaped opening here. And we've got something that curves. We've got this bit at the back which is attached. And we've got all this. And you can clearly see this is part of the same thing. This is part of a structure, or what's left of it. And if you look below it, there seems to be remains of some sort of cogged gear. You see it? Look at this piece here. You can see we've got something triangular and it's attached to all this. Just looks like shredded metal. And all this here. See, if you look closely at these and you zoom in, you can clearly see that these are not rocks. This is possibly metal or some Martian equivalent. But when you look closely, you can see that these are not rocks. But when you look at them at a distance, the average person would just say, nothing to see, it's just rocks. We can see a triangular piece right there. And you just look at the form of these things that you can see what they are. There's something perfectly triangular. There's something with a hole in it. Now, this looks quite interesting. We've got, this almost looks like a face. It's hard to tell because NASA's obviously took away a lot of the detail. But we can see enough to know that that is not a rock. It's funny how most people, when you present this evidence to them, they just look at you as if you're daft. If somebody presented this level of evidence to me, I would have an open mind, but that's me. Most people are not really interested. Subconsciously in their mind, they deny that this exists. After all, when you have proof, it no longer falls into the category of being a conspiracy theory. It's fact. The two main questions humans have been asking themselves forever is, are we alone in the universe? And what happens after death? Knowing that there was an advanced civilization on Mars, and maybe still there, is the greatest discovery in the history of the human race. And yet, nobody wants to know. Why is that? Is it maybe because the mainstream media has been filling our heads with so much garbage over the years? Maybe they've just given up hope of any government agencies telling the truth. Even if they did, no one would probably believe them. In this case, in my opinion, this is undeniable proof that a technological civilization existed on Mars. Whether they're still there or not, I don't know. Anyway guys, that will wrap up this video. I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.